Hello. Thank you for staying with us. My name is Carrie Connolly, and I'm with the programming department here at Tiff. I will be moderating the Q&A. It's this wonderful full house, so you need to raise your hands very high, speak loudly and clearly, and try to keep your questions brief so we can get to as many as possible. Thank you. So now, please join me in welcoming back to the stage the director of Restless, Mr. Gus Van Sant. Would you like to bring everyone else out onto the stage?
Come on. All right. Bryce Dallas Howard, Jason Green, Enoch reconcile.
Wow. Beautiful, beautiful film. Can you talk to us a little bit about what drew you to Jason's screenplay?
Well, usually, I don't know, when I'm reading any screenplay, I'm always looking for a great story, you know, and I think I found that in Jason's screenplay, and I found, you know, characters, and I liked the singularity of their relationship, the sort of focus on their love together was sort of a unique thing for me.
You elicited these extraordinary performances from both Mia, Henry Hopper making his screen debut. Can you talk to us about the casting process?
Yeah, we cast in Los Angeles over about a 2-month period, and it was pretty standard. We had people coming in and reading from pages of the script and recording them at Francine Maisler's office, and we would share those with Bryce and Jason, and you know, we whittled it down to Mia. And Mia and Henry could sort of make the characters their own, you know, this is the kind of great thing about it.
Excellent. Maybe one more question from me, and then we'll open it up. Mia, what was it like working with the Gus Van Sant?
It was great. I've been a fan of Gus's film for a long time. My mum showed me his film when I was a teenager, and Elephant was definitely a really sort of special, and yeah, one of those films that reminds you that there's actually no like definite way that cinema is, and you can just sort of make it your own, and that was sort of opened up my eyes to all the possibilities that cinema can, you know, have and be. That was awesome.
Excellent. Audience, do we have a question? Yes, right here.
Okay, this question's for Jason. I thought the film was really great and really well written, sort of a meditation on death and the characters finding some therapy with their interactions. Just wondering if you found any therapy in writing it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think...
Did you find any therapy in writing the screenplay?
No. Yeah, actually, I think if there's something I was trying to get at, it was that I just, you know, at a very young age, I wish someone had sat me down and said, you know, you're not the things that happen to you, you're just the person they happen to, you know, and just kind of not letting these awful things define you, no matter how, you know, how tragic or awful, but just kind of making your own way. And you know, I found a lot of comfort in these very kind of clear metaphors of a girl who is dying, who's obsessed with life, who teaches a boy who's dropped out of the business of living, and who's obsessed with death. And yeah, so very much so. It's obviously, not obviously, if anybody know that, but a very personal story for me. So yeah, absolutely, it was a very cathartic experience.
Thank you. We had, yes, sir, right here.
Excellent film. One of the things I loved about it was its refusal to stick by cliche. Wondering if that was at the script stage or that sort of developed during the process of making the film. And also, if you could talk briefly about the choice of music, the use of Sufjan in particular.
That's not a brief question. Do you want to talk about the screenplay or do we want to talk about the music?
I'm cheating. It's Gus Van Sant.
Yes, I know. And I'm standing beside it.
Just the use of music was so beautiful. I was just wondering if you could talk about your selection process for that.
What about the screenplay?
What about the music?
Well, I think that the script definitely avoided, some general, obvious, pitfalls, that I was noticing, and then what do you think?
Oh, well, I mean, I guess for me, I was interested in making a film that was just not about sickness, but about life, and trying to kind of structure that in a way that was just coming out and just telling you this is what's going to happen. She's going to die. That's it. So we can move past that and just really kind of try and be in the moments of how she's living the last moments of her life, as opposed to, is she going to die? Is she going to get better? I was kind of very influenced when Russ and I were at school by Bertolt Brecht, and this kind of idea of how he would come out and just say, this is what's going to happen. This person's going to die, and this is going to happen, and then you could just sit back and not wonder what's going to happen. You just kind of watch it happen. So, obviously, I'm not Brecht, so. But
Obviously.
a disciple.
Oh, really?
A disciple of that style of storytelling for clarity's sake. But, yeah. And the music?
The Sufjan, well, there were a lot of things. I just heard some music recently that I thought would be really good for the film. But it's too late. I missed one guy. But there were lots of things I tried, and we all tried, and Sufjan was, a musician that was really holding into the film, and it seemed to work. And then Bryce said that Jason had used it when he wrote.
Yeah, at one point I wrote a lot of his. There were all these kind of music cues from Illinois in there, and it just kind of it suited the tone.
But without knowing that, we sort of, it was really hard to find the right music that was working. Even though normally there's a lot of things you can find that work, and then you settle maybe on the best one. In this case, a lot of things just obviously didn't work at all, and Sufjan did.
Yes, right here.
Yes, the relationship felt so authentic, which to me is the signature of a Gus Van Sant film. And you're standing right there, so I'll address you that way. How much freedom did you give your actors to improvise, or was it all performance?
I think in general, I'm kind of encouraging that, but it sort of depends on the way things are going. In certain cases, there's a lot of improvisation, just because it's the will of the actors. Because at one point you sort of say it like you can do what you want. And in the case of Restless, it wasn't really the desire.
Yeah, well, it almost wasn't like improvising with words as much, but there was a freedom on the set in terms of you could come onto a new set and find yourself in a room, and there was no you stand there, and then you come together here. It was we just physically got to kind of gravitate to where it felt natural, and then that just kind of working from there, where we would just naturally go is sort of, I think, was encouraged.
Yeah, there wasn't sort of trying to move off of the page because the scenes were so specific that it would have been odd to kind of go off, or at least at the moment when we were working on it, it felt odd. So we pretty much didn't, compared to other in instances where I've done that.
Thank you.
talk about the silent takes, which are amazing. Everyone should know about them.
Well, there's like a thing that I had heard Terry Malick did, which was do silent takes of the same scenes except nobody talked, and I had done it on Milk. And we did it on Restless, but we were using, in this cut that you just saw, using the silent takes just for moments that we happened to need. But in the process, we ended up cutting together a whole version of the movie which is silent, which exists, but we don't have it with us right now. But we do have it. That's sort of the problem.
Bryce, did you want to tell us a little bit more about what it was like on set? Did you visit often?
Yeah, no, I was on set every day, and it was a very quiet, intimate, easy environment. And I've been on a few sets, always as an actor, and usually it's really tense, and there's like a lot of people, and there seems to be so much going on. And Gus has worked with his crew for many years, and it just like everything went so smoothly. And I remember the first day we wrapped in, I think it was like 6.5 hours. I was like, wait, isn't this supposed to be like a 14-hour day? Isn't that what most people do? And as a producer, that basically made me not have any job whatsoever on set. No work to do, so I was just kind of this happy observer that everything was going so smoothly.
Yes, we have time for one more question. Right here.
This is a two-part question.
Oh my goodness.
Number one, what was it like to chop all your hair off? And number two, can I have a hug?
No. Actually, no.
You're not. Can't set that precedent.
Then it's hugs for one, it's hugs for all.
One more question, right here. Thank you.
I just wanted to ask Bryce, after her next family production, whether she plans on doing more producing, and was the experience a positive one?
Yes, I mean, the experience was a very positive one, and something that I was cognizant of very early in the process was that it's not typical for a producer to have this kind of an experience where you get such great actors together, where Gus Van Sant says yes right away. It's just where you have such a beautiful writer that, Jason and I have a very close relationship, and we've been friends for years, and that's not customary of the movie making process. We feel very close immediately with the people that you're working with, so it was wonderful. Yes, I would love to produce again, but what this was for me was not kind of an intentional thing. Like I'm one of Jason's friends. He gave a bunch of his friends the script to just kind of get some initial feedback on, and our first conversation was 4.5 hours. So I was just kind of obsessed with it for a while, and then as a result, after a few years, it became a movie, and he allowed me to be kind of to kind of speak on behalf of the movie, and then Gus was very inclusive in his process. So it's not something where I was like, ooh, I definitely want to produce, and let's find something, and let's make it happen. And so at this point, it's not like there's anything specific that I'm focusing on for the future, but if something like this happens again, it was such an enriching experience.
Well, Jason, Mia, Bryce, and Gus, thank you so much for being with us tonight.